What's going on, everybody? Sorry about the random seeing of my screens when I wasn't actually ready to be live, but never mind about that. Thank you so much for joining the stream, Evan J. Fox, Rohan Sharma and Jeff Holt, the first three in the chat. How are you guys doing, and what are you drinking? I'm drinking a weird mixture of juice and gin. It sounds like I'm trying to be a rapper or something, but yeah. That's all I've got in the house, literally. So that was all I could actually put together. So we got game week 32 to think about. Amit Patel, how you doing, my friend? And we've got double game weeks, blanks, all sorts. That actually looked a lot worse, that drink on the screen, but never mind. Ismail Mayer is in the stream as well. Has missed a few streams due to health issues. Sorry to hear that, mate. Hopefully it's nothing too serious and you're over it. I'm not still in the cup. I got knocked out a while back. Let me see if I can remember where I got knocked out as we wait for people to join the stream. Got knocked out in game week 28. I think that was the game week I got knocked out in. Yeah, he got 59, I got 57. It was Otamendi on the bench that did me over. So unfortunately for me, I am out of the FPL Cup, 10 game weeks away from winning it. Jamal Rice, how you doing? Good to see you in the chat. Jerome Hughes, great timing just as FPL Boss's stream ended. And speaking about that, Jerome, I will be speaking about YouTube and it not always letting people know when I'm live. So we'll talk about that in a second. We got Ellison, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're good. And we should start soon, I guess. Jeremy T's in the chat. How you doing? Jamal Rice. I've already got a bunch of subs I need to start paying. Trust me, one day, maybe we'll get to that point. Ah, Ismail Mayer. I'm sorry to hear that, my friend. Is it advanced? Is it at a point where they can fight it? But very sorry to hear that, mate. Eating chicken and couscous and drinking Coke. Well, what better way to watch me, Jeff? We'll get to your team in a second. Neil Krastin, how you doing? Good to see you in the chat. I don't think I've seen your name before. Amit Patel, my wildcard is active. Am I happy with my team? No, I'm not happy with it yet. I feel like I should have Vardy in there as well with Leicester's fixtures. There's a bunch of players I'd like. I still feel like I should have some Man City coverage, at least until they've won the league, but part of me is saying, do I really need it? Depends how far they get in the Champions League. Siraj, no YouTube notification. I will talk about that in a second. Florence Sandu, how you doing? Eddie Gooner, welcome to the chat, my friend. Okay, 13 people in. I think I'll get to the bit now, and I might bring it up again later on in the stream, depending on if more people join. It's come out recently, YouTube only notify a certain amount of my subscribers when I go live, and it's not just for me, it's for everyone. For some reason they've decided that if you click the subscribe button to my channel, that doesn't mean you want to be told every time I'm live. All it means is you want me in your subscription box and you'll go to my main page to see when I'm live and all that kind of stuff. The only way you can get notified guaranteed when I'm live and not just randomly, because some people will get notified every single time I go live. Apparently the people that are most active in my streams will get notified every single time I go live. If you're not in that select group that YouTube have decided, what you need to do is hit that notification bell, the bell on my videos on my channel. Then you will get told when I'm live every single time. That is you telling YouTube you always want to know when I'm live. If you don't hit that, then, and the same for any other streamer that you like, if you don't hit that, there's a chance you won't get the notification. That is also why a lot of people got Logan Paul videos in their notifications, because when Logan Paul was like what everyone was talking about when he filmed a dead body, people watched his videos without actually subscribing, but they were watching the whole video, they were actively watching it, they might have watched it again, they might have watched other videos on Logan Paul. So that told YouTube, that you wanted to see that and you were very active on that. So it started to share it to people even when it all died down. So if you always want to know when I go live, hit that notification bell and you will always get the notification when I go live. And that's just that little bit of admin there. So what we're going to do to start off this stream, I know some more people have joined, we're up to 22 at the moment, is we're going to start off with the questions that were asked on Twitter. If you don't have a Twitter account, apologies, but I'm trying to kind of grow another social media account. So before every FPL Today Live, I will be doing with the hashtag FPL Today Live, allowing people to ask questions using that hashtag and then answer them in the stream. Only 2 questions this week, even though I did put the tweet out 2 days ago. One person didn't use the hashtag, but never mind, I still saw it. The first question is from Nick FPL. Best way to navigate Game Week 34, and I'm assuming that's Game Week 35 with no wildcard or free hit. I do have a video out. I believe it was up for Game Week 31, but it was probably up since Game Week 29. Forgot the title of it, where I do kind of go over strategies, but I don't think I covered if you don't have the wildcard or the free hit. What I would do is I would bring in players that have a Game Week 34 and a Game Week 35. I think only Burnley, have a double game week in 34 and then play in 35. I think all the other teams have Game Week 34 one game and then Game Week 35 one game. So if you think Burnley can do well 2 games in Game Week 34, maybe bring them in, but they're not exactly the most enticing option. So what I'd probably do is mainly aim for Game Week 37. Of course, still bring in players from Arsenal that have easy fixtures, so on and so forth, that are playing in Game Week 35 that you know will have a double game week in 37. But other than that, there's not much else you can do. Maybe take some hits when it comes to Game Week 37. But I'll be looking at who has the easiest fixtures with a double game week in 37. Those would be my main targets. And then, of course, once Game Week 34 and 35 are gone, you can start bringing in the other players. We've also got Thomas McCarthy sending in his team for me to have a look at. Thank you so much, Sean Tan has just joined the flock. Can we get some birds in the chat for Sean Tan? So, thank you so much for joining the flock. Back to Thomas McCarthy. This is my team, played wildcard. Who such changes I've not planned for double game weeks, blanks or any of that. Stuff like bench boost. Also tweeted out a bunch of other people. I don't know what their answers were, but we've got Pope. In fact, can I make it bigger? There we go. That's a decent size. We've got Pope, Dummett, Robertson, Monreal. We've got Mahrez, Son, Salah, Grosh, Willian. We've got Firmino and Lukaku. We've got Hennessy, me, Quainer and Chilwell. With Pope, I'm personally probably going to take him out now purely because there's a chance Tom Heaton gets some games just before the end of the season. So I don't want to risk having Pope in my side now that Heaton's back from injury. Dummett could be a decent shout. Newcastle do look like they've got some decent fixtures. You've got Andrew Robertson. Good shout, but if I can quickly bring it up. There we go. I do have Robertson down as having a potential injury from the international fixtures. It doesn't look too serious. There's a chance he's okay, but thigh injury, he's got a 75% chance of playing, so there's a chance you might want to go for a different Liverpool defender. Apparently Gomez has also picked up an injury, so that might mean Trent Alexander-Arnold, a very cheap price, I think around 4.3 million, is available. So you could definitely look at Trent Alexander-Arnold if you do want to replace Robertson. Monreal, Arsenal has some decent fixtures. They're not getting loads of clean sheets though, so that's up to you if you think the easier fixtures will give them some more clean sheets. The likes of Mahrez, Son, Salah, Willian, everyone is looking at them right now. Willian is on great form recently, has some good underlying stats. Salah, if you take Salah out just because of double game weeks, you're not really getting the point of the game. He will score points by the looks of it. Son, the longer Kane is out, the more likely Son is to continue playing up front, depending on the team they play, which could be of benefit to Son, out position option there. Mahrez just looks on form. He wants the move, so I think he's playing to ensure that he gets a move come the summer transfer window. Firmino is a good shout, but with double game weeks coming up for Arsenal, Man United, Man City, Tottenham, there's a chance Firmino might not be worth it. He could still be worth it though. Could do well in single game weeks, but I would say you're probably looking at, for me, Lukaku and Aubameyang, at least for now, being the two options I would look at. Lukaku because he has a double game week in game week 34, and Aubameyang just has really good fixtures, and he can't play in Europe, which is a bonus for us FPL managers. As far as the bench goes, bench is decent. I'm assuming a lot of it is to just save money. Chilwell at Leicester, easy fixtures. They're not exactly a clean sheet team, but still possible. Quainer is a budget option that is okay if you're just looking to save money. Not sure what Quainer's price is right now, but Barnes seems a good value pick as well, with a double game week around the corner. Not that he could necessarily score in both of those fixtures anyway. You got me again. You might want to save money and put it elsewhere for the double game week. You could downgrade me to someone like Loughton, I think, is back for Burnley, and he's been getting points. And Hennessy, not really sure about a Crystal Palace keeper myself. I do like the look of the Newcastle goalkeeper. And who else have I actually picked? Matthew Ryan as well, the Brighton goalkeeper, the two I've gone with. I did look at De Gea, but then I just felt like I was spending too much in my defence. I have got Alonso there, but again, I'm not too sure, because having looked at underlying stats, he's not actually had the most chances out of defenders in the last 6 game weeks. Anyway, that is it for the questions brought by Twitter. 29 people watching now, so we're flying. Do have some screens to go over as well that we might get through at some point. So let's go through the chat before we get way too far behind like we used to, or usually do. So where's Jeff's team? I know Jeff put his team in. Okay, so we've got Jeff Holt's team. David De Gea, of course, great choice. Not got many clean sheets in the last 6 though, but with the fixtures, it's likely that he will. We've got Alonso. The reason people are bringing Alonso is because he can just be that explosive randomly. He's not done it as often as he did last season, but if he scores and gets a clean sheet, that's a lot of points for your team. Got Mian Loughton, he's doubling up on Burnley defenders. He's got Morgan from Leicester, Salah, Mahrez, Son, Willian. Is that Mickey? It says Millie, but I'm assuming he means Mickey. Aubameyang, Vardy and Barnes. All wood, eating chicken and couscous, drinking Coke. Barnes looks more nailed on, but apparently when Sean Dyche plays one up front, he goes with Wood, which is potentially what he might do in some of the games coming up. Other than that, the midfield is all the kind of people that you should be looking at. Defence is decent. Again, Robertson, a chance of not playing in game week 32. You might get rested. But definitely, if I thought he was nailed on for sure, I would have Robertson in my team. So I like the look of your team overall. Vardy is someone that I really want to bring into my side, but I just feel like Aubameyang and Lukaku are too much to ignore, and I'm not sure I can afford 3 heavy hitting strikers. Siraj, how you doing? Everyone's pretty good. Some bad news in the flock, but it's up to him whether he wants to share that again. Seems to be some beef going between Jeremy T and Jamal Rice. I'm not sure what it is. Is my team different from FPL Boss? I did see he was streaming, and I don't like to stream when other people are streaming because 1, I could take people from their stream, or 2, people may just stay in there because they're already in that stream. The fact that I started just when he finished was pure luck because I literally was about 6 to 8 minutes late anyway because I had to feed my daughter. So that's just pure luck. Although I announced 2 days ago I was going to stream today, so I feel like maybe stepping on my toes a bit. Second stage. Really sorry to hear that, mate. Kind of put me off my roll there a bit, but hopefully everything goes well for you, mate. Heart goes out to you. Desiree Charija is in the chat. How you doing? Is that JNO? I like it. I'm glad. I'd like to know that I've got some female viewers. I don't think I've got many, but I have some female viewers. Whenever I look at my analytics, most of it is male. Had a look at Senk Tucson. I did, and I wish I brought him in for Game Week 31. But Everton's fixtures don't stand out to me as far as a team moving forward for the rest of the season. They've got Man City and Liverpool in the next two. It is then Swansea, Newcastle and Huddersfield, but with no double game week, they're probably going to be a side that I ignore. And unless there's some really big returns from them, I'm probably not going to be too hurt if they do get some decent returns. Jerome Hughes asked Jamal his opinion on Man City coverage. Alright then, go on then. Jamal Rice, what's your opinion on Man City coverage? I'm presuming that's where all of this is coming from. How you doing, Ayush? Hope you're good. Jamal Rice, FPL today, which week are you planning to use bench boost? I'm still undecided. 37 looks a much more appealing game week. Again, I'm spoiling you guys this week. Have actually made some graphics. I actually stopped being lazy. We've got double game week 34. The fixtures are as follows. We've got Bournemouth versus Liverpool and Man United, Brighton versus Crystal Palace and Tottenham, Burnley versus Leicester and Chelsea, Chelsea versus Southampton and Burnley, Leicester versus Burnley and Southampton, Man United versus West Brom and Bournemouth, Southampton versus Chelsea and Leicester, and then Tottenham against Man City and Brighton Hove Albion. Now, to me, the fixture that stands out the most in that is probably Man United and Lukaku, West Brom and Bournemouth. Then you do have Chelsea with Southampton and Burnley. Now, those are the two teams that seem to me that have favourable fixtures in this double game week. Which makes me look at my team right now and think, why don't I have more Man United players or Chelsea players? So, like I said, this team isn't the final article, but at the moment I only have Alonso and Lukaku that I really like the fixtures of for the double game week. Do have some other players in there, of course, that do have the double game week, and then I do have the free hit chip. But of course, we are also looking towards double game week 37, which isn't nailed on, but this is what it's likely to be. And as you can see, there's 12 teams there that have double game weeks. That makes me feel like potentially bench boost is better used in double game week 37 because there's a lot more options. Arsenal could do well against Burnley and Leicester. You've got Man City with Huddersfield and Brighton Hove Albion. We've got Man United with Brighton Hove Albion and West Ham. We've got Tottenham with West Bromwich Albion and Newcastle. So I may bench boost in game week 37 just because my gut tells me there's a lot of possibility there for big points, and I'm just outside the top 10%, which is annoying me. So I may go all in on double game week 37. The only issue with that is, of course, by then Man City might have won the league and have the Champions League to worry about. You could have other teams that might be guaranteed to be safe and nothing left to play for. You might have teams like Tottenham that know they're going to be in the top 3, and then they've got the FA Cup to still think about. You've got all these kind of things that could potentially bring rotation in double game week 37, whereas in double game week 34, there's a lot less likely to be rotation there. So potentially, this could be the more secure one to bench boost on. But because I might gamble because of my ranking at the moment, I might bench boost on game week 37. But we shall see. I haven't made that decision yet, though. Jamal Rice, he listens to me, so I don't want to tell him. I have to listen to you after you've pointed out so many things that I was getting wrong at one point in the season, and you're also so highly ranked, so I'm not going to not listen to what you have to say. I may listen to it and then not do it. I have a habit of not listening to what people tell me to do. Ammon Dylan in the chat, how you doing? Jerome Hughes, he had banter about Liverpool defence, so he gave up. Yeah, pretty much. Until I can figure out something to argue with you about again and win, I may just let you take every argument until I'm a lot more confident. Yeah, Siraj, I saw you on Twitter. I know we didn't talk FPL, but we spoke about something almost as important, Dragon Ball Super. Yeah, Florence Sando, I get you. Kick the notification bell, then you get notified. But to be honest, I would like to think that if I've subscribed to someone, if they're live, it should just tell me. And that's what a lot of creators thought. It wasn't just me that was surprised by that. But yeah, apparently sometimes it won't even put like normal videos in your subscription box, in your subscription list. So there's a lot of stuff that's the problem with YouTube, is it's not always transparent about how things operate. And like me, notification bell has often been one of the last things I mention for my subscribers to do, because I'm thinking about getting subscribers and so on. And so notification bell is very important if you want to know when me or any other creator you like is going live, especially live. With videos, it may be a bit more annoying though. That's the thing. I don't want to be notified when a video is uploaded, because most of the time I either watch it when I can, which is late at night, or other stuff. But enough about YouTube. I say while I'm streaming on the platform. Jan Arvid Jacobson, how you doing? Having a beer, enjoying Easter holiday, a long wait for Game Week 32. It's been a long wait, but you know what? For me, it came at a decent time, because of course I've just had my kid. Been very tired a lot of the last 2 to 3 weeks. So it's come at a good time, means I kind of got away with not doing as many videos as I usually would have done in this period. And it's become very obvious that it's the hardcore FPL players that are still around. So if you're in the chat, you're hardcore. Anish Fakar, what game week outside of Game Week 35 would be best to use a free hit chip, as I've already got 10 Game Week 35 players in my current squad. Planning to wildcard in Game Week 36 and have bench boost and triple captain left as well. I would probably hit, if that's your plan, I would free hit in double Game Week 34. Because then you could make the most of 34, have your team that is ready for 35. Then if you're wildcarding in 36, you can bench boost in 37, and then you can triple captain potentially in... You could triple captain in Game Week 35, I suppose, because that might be a game week where some people score quite low, so that could have a big impact on your ranking. Or you could try and play it in Game Week 38 when everyone else has probably used their chips, and if you played it on the right person, you probably get a good scoring game week compared to everyone else. But I would definitely say if that is your strategy, then the free hit I would use in Game Week 34. Man, you've got uni, Siraj, Saturday and Sunday, 11 to 9. Weekends, 8 to 9. What uni do you go to? I went to uni. I didn't have that much. Not to say I did great at uni anyway, but those were not hours that I did. Yeah, if we could get some hearts in the chat for Ismail, that would be much appreciated. Yishvalur, I'm here for only 20 minutes. Had to finish off some college work. I'm not going to lie, I don't miss having homework or work that you do. I suppose at college and uni it's not called homework, it's just called work. But I like the fact that when I'm not at work, I don't have to do any of it. Bahar Abbas. Hi there, new to FPL, need advice, Mkhitaryan or Willian? Thanks. My gut would go Willian, purely because I don't see rotation being as much of an issue at Chelsea. Arsenal still have Europe. They may now decide to take it seriously, and Mkhitaryan would be one of those players. Or is Mkhitaryan cup tied? How do I not know that? I know Aubameyang is. I haven't read anywhere that Mkhitaryan's cup tied for Europe. If you know, leave that in the chat, because I've gone completely blank on that if I did know. Willian has looked really good at the moment. Chelsea do seem to have decent fixtures. So do Arsenal, though. So it's difficult. Right now, I've gone Willian, I believe. No, I've got neither. But as far as I'm aware, Chelsea have the double game week in 34. As we can see if I bring this up. So Willian at 7.1 million is cheaper than Mkhitaryan. Has Southampton and Burnley in game week 34. 2 goals in the last 6 game weeks. Goal involvement rate is 67%. Minutes per chance at 27.5. Minutes per chance created at 101. Goal conversion at 18.2. So potentially you could look at Willian and then maybe think about Mkhitaryan after double game week 34. But my gut would go with Willian at the moment. General discussion point. What is everyone's high and low of the season? My low is playing the triple captain wrong again. That's 2 seasons in a row I've played it. I've played it early and it's not worked. So next year, if I do try and play it early, someone in the chat stop me. But can anyone send me a link of fixtures? If anyone could do that, I don't think I have a link that is openly available to anyone. Like, I've got links that are open to members of websites, but I don't have just the fixtures. I'm sure there is one on Twitter, and if I find it, Siraj, I'll send it to you. But I don't have one that isn't part of a membership site, because that's what I use generally. But this may help you. We've got short-term fixtures you can look at. We've got Burnley with West Brom, Watford, Leicester, Chelsea double game week, and then Stoke. We've got Arsenal with Stoke, Southampton, Newcastle and West Ham. We've got Leicester with Brighton Hove Albion, Newcastle, Burnley, Stoke double game week, but then a blank. We've got Liverpool with Crystal Palace, Everton, Bournemouth, West Brom and Stoke. So Liverpool is still a decent option despite not having a double game week. And then we also have more long term. We've got Tottenham, Man United and Man City that really have the good fixture list if you think about how good those teams are. So you've got Tottenham with Chelsea, Stoke, Man City, Brighton Hove, Albion, double game week, a blank, then Watford, West Brom and Leicester with a double game week game to be put probably in the West Bromwich Albion game week. We've got Man United, Swansea, Man City, West Brom, Bournemouth, blank, then Arsenal, Brighton Hove Albion and Watford with a potential game to be put in that Brighton Hove Albion game week. And then Man City have Everton, Man United, Tottenham, Swansea, West Ham, Huddersfield, Southampton with another game probably put with that Huddersfield fixture. Yush Valur recommending Mkhitaryan over Willian. Jamal Rice doesn't have lows. That's just how good he is at the game. My high triple captaining Salah, low wasting my full free hit in game week 6. Were you following the channel in game week 6? Because I'd have told you not to do that. I know I'm not necessarily ranked higher than you, but I'd have told you not to do that, Jeff. Amit Patel, Lukaku, Aubameyang and Firmino or Vardy. I would probably go Vardy. Don't get me wrong, Firmino's been on form this year, but I feel like Vardy wants to go to the World Cup, has the fixtures to go to the World Cup. He should score in the fixtures coming up, and he has a double game week. So I'd probably go Vardy. Jan Arvid Jacobson is Salah for me. 2 chicken for Aubameyang. Salah's pretty safe. Salah's not leaving my team. Yush Valur doing the Salah song. Siraj Karanj. So, yes, there should be 2 double game weeks coming up. 34 is confirmed, officially announced by the Premier League. 37 is what everyone believes will happen, because that is basically the other game weeks have Champions League or FA Cup or other fixtures around them, which you'd think the Premier League would want to avoid. So you're most likely going to put it in game week 37, which has the space for it. Of course, a lot of congestion is caused because they want to finish the season off early for the World Cup. But yeah, most likely game week 37, and it looks like game week 34 is confirmed for definite. The only thing I really got wrong is I thought there'd be more double games in 34 than in 37. hatching birds because it's coming up to Easter. Siraj saying new graphics. Yeah, I made them today. I thought, you know what? I might try and do a my team this week, but because I'm probably not going to be doing a video before game week 32 starts, I thought I'd try and put some stuff in there that could potentially be helpful to people in the stream. Desiree Chirija, I want to drop Azpilicueta. Which defender should I replace him with? I mean, I've gone with Alonso purely because I think he could be explosive, but there's a good chance I'll take him out. A lot of people go Maguire because of Leicester's fixtures, and he can score goals. If you're looking for someone the same kind of price range as him, you could go with a Man United defender, potentially Smalling. But they've not got a lot of clean sheets recently. Arsenal really do have the fixtures as well. And then Liverpool really do have the fixtures. Van Dijk could be a decent shout to replace Azpilicueta if you are set on getting rid of him. Yush Klein is back. Yes, that is something that could hurt Trent Alexander-Arnold. And yeah, Robertson could be a rotation risk. That's the problem right now, is whilst there are fixtures that look good, the problem is now when you get this far in the Champions League or the FA Cup, you're going to start taking it seriously. And depending on what the league situation is, you may rotate your side in the Premier League. Van Dijk, I'm assuming, would play in every game, so he wouldn't be too much of a rotation risk. For me, Robertson's been too good and potentially hasn't played all season, so could be fresh enough to play every game. But of course, I'm not part of the Liverpool back staff, so I don't know. Backroom staff, so I don't know. But if I was managing Liverpool, I wouldn't drop Robertson. Ayush Valur, don't be shocked Nathaniel Klein is still alive. Neil Creston has got Ryan, Jay Stevens or Hennessy and Cedric playing bench boost in 34, currently on wildcard. I mean, I would probably go Ryan and Stevens because I don't particularly fancy Hennessy to keep as many clean sheets as Ryan. So yeah, that would probably be my go-to. Although defensively, I'd say you kind of got like for like there, because Stevens can score goals as well, and Cedric's more likely to get assists. So I would probably go Ryan over Hennessy, which would make me pick Ryan and Stevens. George Butler is in the chat, and he's got his wildcard draft team. David De Gea, Ryan, Alonso, Duffy, Loughton, Morgan, Van der Horn, Mahrez, Salah, Son, Grosh, Willian, Orba, Barnes and Vardy forwards. Like the strike force, Willian, Gross, Son, Salah, Mahrez, standard midfield. I think a lot of people are going to have a very similar midfield moving on from this game week. So potentially I may look to pick a differential somewhere in there because I want to climb the rankings a bit. But can't argue with any of your midfielders. You've got Van der Horn, good, I know there's a good reason to have him in, but I can't remember what it is. I know he's got a double game week in 37. I can't remember, but as they're fighting for survival, that could be a decent pick. Morgan, Leicester, a lot of people looking at Leicester. Burnley defence are decent, Loughton being a cheaper option than me. Duffy, decent shout. Alonso, if you think he's going to score, Alonso is a must-have. I feel like he could be one of those players that has a great double game week. And I like your keepers, so I don't see anything wrong with that. The only issue is there's always going to be players you're looking at thinking, I want them in, and you can't get them into your team for some reason. So, no worries, Sean. We're a welcoming bunch here. We'll always welcome people to the flock. Daz Dark is tempted to triple captain Salah against Palace this weekend. I wouldn't, but it could pay off. Salah's the type of player it could pay off at any point. I would personally leave it now we're so close to double game weeks to play it in a double game week. Ayush Falur got 127 points last game week. Well done. I got 86 and still dropped in ranking. That's how high scoring. And everyone was saying it was going to be a low scoring game week. That's how high scoring it was. I got 86 and dropped in ranking. Just got to find where I was now. I do hate it when the chat just drops to the bottom. Wow. Okay, a lot of questions. If you just bear with me while I try and figure out where the last comment I was on. There we go. Who is the best attacker from Jeremy T or mid for a 1 week punt, not including Liverpool or Mahrez? So a 1 week punt. This game week, I would like the looks of... Mickey could do decent against Stoke at home. Not that that's probably a punt really, is it? Brighton against Leicester. Leicester don't have the best defence. Can't really think anyone off the top of my head. Stanislas has incredible amounts of shots on goal. 22 shots on goal in the last 6 game weeks. Joints top with Mohamed Salah. However, a lot of them have come from outside the box. 8 on target though, which is only 3 less than Salah. Watford, I wouldn't really look at anyone from Watford attacking wise. Kennedy has been looking really good at Newcastle, and they've got Huddersfield in the next fixture. And Huddersfield have that Pritchard, who looks like a decent shout. To be honest, there's not loads of punts that I'd be looking at though, really, looking at those fixtures. I think that's probably about it. I know you probably were hoping for a few more punts than that, but punts, I'm assuming you mean people that aren't necessarily being looked at by everyone else. Jeff Holt, how about looking at my league? I'm not sure I want to, because I'm 64th. But Jamal Rice is top. Anyone else in the chat in the top 10? Red Eagle FPL, I think. Is that the right guy? He's used sometimes in the chat. Claire Hopkins, the Pink Ladies. Jeffrey Holt is 19th. If I miss anyone's name, apologies. Probably scrolled past a bunch of you. But that is how the league is shaping up. At the moment, I'm on 1,824. Wow, I'm a whole 210 behind Jamal Rice, so I'm not catching you, mate. Not at all. Now, hopefully I've fed Jamal Rice's ego there, because he's now seen that he's still top. False 9, welcome to the chat, my friend. Made a couple of tweaks to my wildcard team. We've got Devraka for Fabianski. I think that's a decent shout. Loughton for Tarkowski. I can't argue with that. Is Smalling is nailed on now? Phil Jones is apparently back training. To be honest, you never know for sure, but I wouldn't spend too much on a Man United defender because you've got De Gea as an option. So you're looking at the likes of Smalling, Jones, the cheaper defenders. Smalling is as nailed on as you're probably going to get for now. But I wouldn't say Smalling is nailed on for definite with Jones back. TP is in the chat. How you doing, my friend? Amon Dillon, how's this for a double game week team, wildcard team? David De Gea, Ryan, Bailly, Tarkowski, Alonso, Morgan, Cedric, Willian, Salah, Son, Mahrez, Goodmanson, Aubameyang, Barnes, Firmino. Most probably switching Lukaku and Vardy in game week 34, using the 2 free transfers. That's fair enough, to be honest. You're kind of trying to get the most out of Firmino and then bring in Lukaku and Vardy. And presuming Vardy and Lukaku in for Aubameyang and Firmino, that's a good shout. Mahrez, Son, Salah, can't say anything bad. Willian, can't say anything bad. Goodmanson's a decent shout as a cheap option with a double game week coming up. I'm not too sure myself about Cedric. Other than that, your defence looks pretty decent, as do your goalkeepers. The false 9, fifth midfielder, Milivojevic, Kennedy or Goodmanson, 5.6 million budget. I am leaning towards Kennedy out of those three. Or anyone else in that bracket? Not really, not that cheap. I think you've picked some of the better options in that budget, but I would go towards Kennedy. Bench boost and triple captain, or triple captain then bench boost? If you're talking about the double game weeks, I think it might actually be a better strategy to triple captain in 34 and bench boost in 37. I have said, however, that there is always the worry of stuff being finalised, sorted by game week 37. People know what their position is in the league, so they start to rotate. If you want to be safe, I would bench boost in 34. If you want to gamble, 37 on paper looks more promising, but you've got to remember it is game week 37. Bahar Abbas, I'm not saying no to Robertson. I would personally, for balance of teams, still look at Liverpool. You can't really go Van Dijk because he's more expensive. I would say Trent Alexander-Arnold would probably stay in the team while they still need to win games in the league over Nathaniel Klein. So you could look at him. Outside of that, Harry Maguire is a bit more expensive, I believe. So you're probably only looking at cheaper options. Loughton from Burnley does look like he could get some decent attacking returns. And Burnley are capable of getting clean sheets. Jeremy T, if you look at my team right now, Otamendi isn't there and Alonso is. I don't know what it is about this fixture list, but I'm finding it hard to put Man City players in because I'm never sure who's going to score the points and I'm never 100% sure who's going to play. I mean, don't get me wrong, Sterling did very well for me, so did Otamendi for a lot of the season. I really think there are points in that City team. I'm just not confident I can predict where they're going to come from. TP's team is De Gea, Pope, Otamendi, Daniels, Monreal, me, Mbemba, Walcott, Sterling, Mane, Salah, Gross, Depoitre, Firmino, Rooney. Who to get rid of? Have all chips available. De Gea I would keep. Pope I would potentially get out. I feel like Heaton may get some game time if Burnley find himself safe and just in mid-table. Otamendi, can't argue against having him because Man City are probably going to keep a few more clean sheets this season. Daniels, I probably wouldn't keep a Bournemouth defender. If I was going to have a Bournemouth defender, I might go with Adam Smith, who has been played at right midfield a couple of times. Monreal. Arsenal defenders don't really appeal to me personally right now, but he's a decent defender in a big team. Europe may affect the lineup a little bit. Me, I can't argue with. There is the option of Loughton to save some cash. And Mbemba, surprised you still have him, to be fair. I'd take Mbemba out. Walcott, now that Game Week 31's gone, I wouldn't have Walcott in the side. Sterling, Mane, Salah, Gross, can't argue with any of those massively. Depoitre, Firmino, Rooney, I would definitely beef up your attack force if I could. I don't think Rooney's a good shout anymore. Firmino's decent, but has no double game weeks, but has good fixtures. Depoitre, I think there's options out there that will do the same, if not better, than Depoitre for cheaper. Yusuf or Otamendi defend against Spain. The thing is, Spain are a lot different than playing Everton, Swansea, West Ham. Who else they got? Huddersfield, Southampton. They're going to have another easy fixture in that Huddersfield slot. Brighton, Hove Albion. So that's a lot different than defending against Spain. England's strongest 11 for the World Cup. I don't know, to be fair. I feel like Harry Kane is the striker you play, even though he wasn't great at the European Championships. I suppose it depends what formation you're playing. If you're going to play something similar to what they're playing right now, would I take Lingard? I mean, Sterling would get in because of his form. I really don't like less attacking midfielders. I'd maybe give Chamberlain a run because I know he can play more defensively minded. I don't see anything special about the likes of Henderson, Wilshere. I really don't like our midfield this year. Dele Alli's going to go, of course. Defensively, I don't think we've got decent defenders. I just don't think we've got an amazing leader in that back line. Fullbacks we're decent for, so I really do think we should play a formation that really takes advantage of fullbacks. And in goal, it's a toss-up really, because Joe Hart doesn't deserve to be #1 keeper. So it would be going to someone that has done well this season. But to be honest, I really don't know. I'll probably do more regarding that closer to the end of this season. But to be honest, most of my focus has been on FPL. Big Bro looks like he's free hitting in 34. Nice to see in the chat, Big Bro. Which is the best Man United players? I personally look at Lukaku and then don't really see anyone else. Purely because all the others look rotatable to me, apart from the likes of Pogba, but he hasn't looked that good. Sanchez hasn't looked great. Don't get me wrong, if Martial or Rashford were more nailed on, maybe I'll be looking at them, but I just don't ever feel safe in picking them. It's pretty much the same as Lingard. I got burned too many times with Lingard in my side as well. TP, trust me, doing anything every day in a row for a certain amount of days is difficult. I've done it twice with 30 days of FPL. It's tough. It's a tough grind. But keep going. It gets easier the more you do it. And then you start to see the finish line. And when you get there, it's something you can be proud of. Yush Valur's team would be Pickford, Walker, Maguire, Stones, Trippier, Dyer, Ox, Rose. So you've got Walker. Is Walker playing in a back three then with Maguire and Stones, and then Trippier? I mean, I can't argue against Vardy, Kane, and Sterling. I'm not sure I'd put Rose in there necessarily. Jeff, I unfortunately don't get the time to watch Scoutcast. When I have watched it, what was I going to say? In fact, when I watched it, it was a while back. When I have watched it, I often feel like there's no point me being in the chat. I can just watch it on my iPad in bed or something like that. But no, I haven't got the chance to watch Scoutcast. Why? What were you mentioning? It'd be interesting to know. If you tell me what minute it is, I can always go back and watch it. What about doing Gross to Lingard as 5th mid? Seems like he's in decent form after watching him play for England last week. True, but again, I know Gross will start for Brighton Hove Albion. I don't know that Lingard will start every game for Man United. Boyish Fallu, if you could knock him out and then they still have to play in the Premier League, I'll be bringing some Man City players in. Amit Patel wants to know if you've got everything, how do you plan? Well, I'd have wildcard now or next week. Bench boost 34, free hit 35, triple captain 37. That's exactly what I do. Yeah, it's hard to pick Man City players right now. I do think they'll smash Everton. I could always have one or two and then figure out a way to transfer them out. If Jesus is playing and Aguero still isn't fit, he could be a decent shout. Jamal Rice, what City players do you have? Ayesh Falur, my country hasn't been that good a team for a while. While we have had big names or bigger names, I don't feel like we've been a decent side since maybe 2002, which is surprising because we still had some great players. But I think since about 2002, our team has been severely overrated. And I think this is one of the first years we're potentially not looking at our team and seeing a better team than we actually have. Sean Tan, does anyone feel Egyptians are special? No idea. If Egyptians are better at FPL, maybe I should move to Egypt. True, Jerome Hughes. They probably all just triple captain Salah all season. Until Jamal Rice gets something wrong, I wouldn't call anything he does a bold move. You take on these three: Ben Davies, Charlie Daniels and Christian Eriksen. Ben Davies, as far as I'm aware, might have a slight knock. Nope, making that up. But of course, there's always worry of rotation issues in that Spurs fullback position. Charlie Daniels, I personally wouldn't bring in. And Christian Eriksen's a good shout. I think Eriksen's a lot better a shout if Kane is up front. But right now I like Son, because Son may be playing out of position. Which Man United asset for double game week? Oh, that's asked to Siraj. My shout would be Lukaku. Just because even when he doesn't play that well, he can still come up with a goal or an assist or something. Harry Kane, yes or no? I wouldn't have him in now, but I'd maybe think of ways you could have him in for double game week 37. Because it looks like he could be back sooner rather than later. Do you have any players with a double game week in 37 and play in 35? Well, that's the reason to have Man City players, because I'm pretty sure they play in 35 and have a double game week in 37. Arsenal play in game week 35, have a double game week in 37. I've got Aubameyang. Trying to think who else. Those off the top of my head, those are the ones that play in 35 and have a double game week in 37. Anash Fakir, thank you. Wow, it's taken me a while to get to someone responding to that. Mickey isn't cup tied, so I feel like Mickey may get played in Europe. Best Man United midfielder. If he was playing, I'd say Martial. Pogba's looked really bad since coming back. Oh, we're talking about the Aussie scandal with the ball tampering. Not really a fan of cricket, but and Ismail, no problem, mate. We're here to help. If you need anything, just give me a message. Within reason, of course. Siraj says for a differential, go with Marcus Rashford. Was about to sneeze, but it didn't come. Never mind. Triple captain in Alonso for 34. It's a bold move. I wouldn't do it, Isa, but it could work out for you. Just I couldn't see myself doing that at all. Who is my pick for the World Cup? I think you've always got to like the Germans. Do I see Argentina doing it? No. I think Germans are probably my favourites. They're my standout favourites. Spain always have a decent chance. I think that's probably it. Germany and Spain. I mean, I'll be supporting Brazil after England go out. Ayush Valur says Alonso's been rested a lot. If that is the case, in fact, let's have a quick look. Because if he is, then there's no need to have him on my side. I don't want rotation risks. There's 2 games he didn't play in, but otherwise he's pretty nailed on. All England fans are thankful for this. Everyone forgot they got bowled out for 58. Did we get bowled out for 58? That is shocking. Really? I might have to watch that. Shouldn't take too long. It's about who will replace these guys in the IPL. I have 3 chips left from Asib Chowdhury. Bench boost, free hit, triple captain left. Can you suggest where I should use those? Do you still have wildcard left? Because I'd use bench boost. If you're being safe, bench boost in 34, free hit 35, triple captain 37. If you're taking a gamble, you could triple captain in 34, bench boost in 37, with the free hit still being in 35. Chicken Aubameyang sounds like a tasty dish. Son, Salah, Willian, KDB, Mahrez. Anyone better than those for midfield? Not really. No one's springing to mind. I'd say those are the key ones that you want to look at getting in. The thing with KDB is I feel like you could potentially have someone else, like Silva or Sterling. Mahrez is the best midfielder to have from Leicester. Willian, you could argue that Hazard might do well as well. He's actually got more goals, I believe, and assists or more points recently than Willian, but Willian has some better chances, underlying stats for chances. Salah, I think you have to have Salah. Son, you could argue Eriksen may do just as good a job. So for me, Salah and Mahrez are the must-haves. Yashvalo, I have had my second kid. First stream after she was born. She was born on Mother's Day. She did make a little appearance at the beginning. But yes, I've had my second kid now, which is why there's probably been a little less activity on the channel recently. Jerome Hughes, my chip plan is most likely going to be... I'm free hitting in 35. The bench boost is going to be played in 34 or 37. I've not decided yet. And I'm playing my wildcard for this week. Who should I get from Arsenal's defence? I'd say Mustafi would be my shout, because he's got a decent goal scoring for it. Jerome Hughes, he won't see a message from about 30 minutes later. I am trying to get through these a bit quicker now. He better go with a cheesy dip for the chips, otherwise I may have to unsub. When was I having chips and dip? Maria asks, she's currently in top 100k with all chips remaining. Is it worth going all out to climb fast or conservative to climb slow? I'd say it depends. Like, if this was my first season ever and I was in the top 100k, I would try and conserve my position. Like, when I started, I was just happy being in the top 10%. So I didn't want to get higher. The second season, I wanted to get higher, so I started to push to get higher, and it worked. This season, I'm still trying to push myself. I think now that I've kind of got that record behind me of some decent finishes, I'm trying to get an even better record, and I'm willing to get a worse year just to try and get a better year, if that makes sense. I'd say if this is the first year she took it seriously, I would definitely try and conserve and then really push next year to get even better. But of course, it's up to you. No risk, no glory sometimes. So, which is why, like, I'm looking at my midfield. Although apparently my midfield's a lot different from FPL Boss's side, I feel like a lot of the midfielders I'm looking at, everyone's looking at. So I'm not going to climb that much if they do well. So yeah, I am thinking of maybe going differential hunting. Mane or Mahrez? I'd say Mahrez. That's for Dinesh L. Get feeling Orban might be the victim of most transfer player. When did that become a thing? It really did become a thing, hasn't it? Yush Fleur is going to really push, is suggesting to really push to get the highest ranking possible. Hey Wezza, how you doing? Anton Person thinks I should get Morgan instead of Maguire. I think Maguire's got more of a goal threat, and if I cheapen down Alonso, I don't really need to cheapen down Maguire. When am I thinking of streaming again? Chris Sue. I don't know how to say T and S together, but thank you so much for joining the flock, my friend. Can we get some more birds in the chat for Chris? Welcome to the family. Anton, I really think Maguire's a better pick, even though he's more expensive. If I was going to go cheap, I may even go Chilwell, to be fair. Streaming again. I mean, I'm back to work on Saturday. What a great day to go back to work on. I doubt I'll be doing it Thursday and Friday, because I'll be doing as much as possible to help my wife before I go back to work, and maybe trying to get a video up. So the next stream will probably be next week, but I've not seen my rota yet. I know I'm off Tuesday, so it might be Tuesday, but again, I don't know what games are on then, so I can't promise anything. I'm going to try and announce on Twitter earlier when I'm streaming. Instead of tweeting the morning before, I'm going to try and tweet out earlier. Maybe I'll try and put out, again, if you put notifications on, I might try and send a message out to sub boxes about when I'll next stream. JNO, WrestleMania coming up in a week. Which match are you looking forward? It has to be AJ Styles versus Nakamura. Ayush. I think that, as long as everything goes to plan, that should steal the show. I am looking forward to seeing what Ronda Rousey can do, but I'm not too hopeful that she'll do really well. Having watched the move she's done a couple of times on Raw, I'm a bit like meh. Of course, seeing Daniel Bryan back in the ring will be really good. Hopefully I'm not spoiling anything for anyone. Bit worried about the Undertaker-Cena match not being that great. Other than that, the women's matches do interest me. I am a fan of... I'm a fan of her, but I've forgotten her name now. Alexa Bliss. I think, though, that the Charlotte Flair versus Asuka match will be better. Yeah, it has to be AJ and Nakamura, though, as far as the best match to watch. I'm glad it looks like they're adding Rusev into a match, though, because Rusev's really over at the moment. Jamal Rice driving home. I'm probably going to be finished by the time you get home, Jamal, but thank you so much for joining the stream. Budget forward, moving forward. A lot of people, Salvador, are looking at Ashley Barnes. He's nice and cheap. Has been getting some returns recently and is playing in that Burnley side. There's a chance he could get rotated out, but he's looking good. Murray, of course, has looked quite good as well. Amit Patel wants to know teams having double game week in 34. Patel, I have a graphic. Check it out. So those are the teams that are having double game week 34 fixtures on the screen for you right there. I've already talked about it, but the ones that really interest me are Chelsea and Man United. Both look like they have a good double game week, so I'll be looking at those teams. My game week 32, punt is Sterling, then move him to Son for the double. That could be a decent shout. Papan Papanovic, Monreal Smalling or Valencia and is that Chilwell or by Ian Morgan don't have free hit. I would say, I mean I prefer by Ian Morgan, but if you don't have the free hit, I'd probably go Monreal and Smalling because Arsenal are playing game week 35. Paul Geedy, I can see that working. I can definitely see that working. That's the plan I've got, apart from my bench boost might be used in 37. Who should you captain this week? I'm sticking it on Salah. If we go back to my team, though, Sane could be a good shout against Everton. Firmino, of course, could be a good shout, but I think Salah's the one to go for if you're going for a Liverpool option. And Lukaku, Man United are playing Swansea. I just can't look past Salah. If I was going to pick anyone else in that list you've got, it might be Sane, but I wouldn't risk not going with Salah the way he's been playing. Desiree Torija, I'll be surprised if we get out of group stages. Just generally, yeah. I know our group isn't too bad, but yeah, I don't look at that team and think world beaters. Jesse Messi. Can't believe Man United fans call Jesse Lingard Jesse Messi. Or Lingardinho. Goalkeepers, I never really planned big for them. But if I was going to look at goalkeepers for double game week 34, I mean, you could... I mean, I have got this. De Gea, 5.9, 1 clean sheet, 12 save points in the last 6. We've got Courtois, 5.4, 1 clean sheet, 10 save points. So 0.5 million cheaper and is only down 2 saves in comparison. Any other keepers I'd look at? Brighton, I think that's what a lot of people have Ryan, is because of Crystal Palace Tottenham. You've got Pope, he might play in those 2 games. Other than that, I wouldn't really go Tottenham with them playing City. But I never really go big on goalkeepers. I'm always more focused on the outfield players. I don't want to be making transfers for goalkeepers. It's a Pharaoh shout. If you think they're not the best, you're in denial. Oh, wow. Pun King, Jeff. Pun King. When to triple captain Salah? Time to triple captain him's just gone. It was the Watford game. But as far as fixtures go, Bournemouth would possibly concede a lot to him. West Brom could concede a lot to him. I would do it before game week 37 though, just because he might get rested after that. Although he'll probably still want the golden boot. Depends how close Harry Kane is to him come the end of the season. But we all saw what Harry Kane's capable of in the last games of the season. So I would potentially either look at Palace, Bournemouth or West Brom games as the time to triple captain him if you're set on triple captaining Salah. See you later, Siraj. Thank you for joining the chat. Guide's team, Paul Guide's team is De Gea, Ryan, Loughton, Alonso, Chilwell, Alderweireld, struggle with that name as well, Duffy, Kennedy, Mickey, Salah, Willian, Mahrez, Vardy, Aubameyang, Barnes. Like the look of that team, can't really argue with any of your picks there. Always play the pyramid formation. Do you have these written down somewhere, Jeff? You should refresh your polls. I should, I really should. I start looking at one thing like graphics, I forget the polls, don't I? Okay, triple captain in Salah, rough with the smooth. How you doing, Tashi Lachungpa? What's the balanced squad for the rest of the game week? Is it the rest of the game week or the rest of the season that question's for? Because there's never really a balanced squad until the game week's gone. Then you know what the best balanced squad was. I just for Lure, can't believe they haven't Roman main event yet again. Look, they're really trying to push Roman. But you know what? We're just going to have to put up with it, aren't we? Wow, Jamal, that was a quick drive. I could see Tunisia beating us. I don't know much about Panama. I'm not going to say I'm all knowledgeable on Tunisia either, but was it last World Cup where we didn't beat the last team we played in the group, and it was it Ecuador? And you'd think we'd beat Ecuador, and we didn't. I think we drew. I think it was Ecuador. So I really don't have much faith, and I'm hoping, as this is the first year I'm ever going into it and not looking at my squad thinking, yeah, we could get into the last 8, that hopefully they'll surprise me. Goalkeepers I have the Newcastle goalkeeper, can't really say his name, and Ryan from Brighton. Anyway guys, I'm going to call the stream there because I don't want to go on too long, purely because, you know what, family, Costa Rica, it was Costa Rica, well done by Yush there. So going to just answer Jan over Jacobson's, then I'm going to sign off. For Game Week 34, I'm getting rid of Van Dijk for Smalling, Orbit and Firmino for Lukaku and Vardy. Sound okay? Yeah, it sounds okay. I mean, Orba would be one that I'd potentially look at keeping in, but other than that, they all seem to make sense, those transfers. Just remember, Liverpool do still have a good fixture list. So just because they don't have double game weeks doesn't mean that all their players should be transferred out of your side, but I can't argue with any of those moves. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching today on the stream. Thank you so much for your support, especially while I've not been as active because of having my daughter. You guys are great. The support you've given me has been fantastic. Really driven me to make sure I continue the streams. Hopefully, I'm hoping to nail down and really get content going once my daughter is a bit easier to look after than she currently is. But we'll see. I'll do the best I can. If you want to support the channel in any way, please check out the links in the description down below. You can sponsor the stream. You can also become a Patreon. I am working on a Discord on Patreon where you guys will be able to chat to me any time of the day pretty much. I'll be very active on there. I put graphics on there early, have different categories where I talk about different subjects. So if that is something that interests you, you can have more direct access to me more often. And other than that, as always, thank you for joining the stream. Thank you for making it a really good stream. We've been over 20 for the majority of the stream, which is fantastic. hopefully I'll stream next week on Tuesday. I'm going to aim for Tuesday, but there's no guarantees. Follow me on Twitter if you do want to know for definite when I'm streaming. And yeah, I've been JNO. This has been FPL Today. And remember, it's all about the game.